Many of you already have dealt with some very difficult times, so this is no different than some of you already dealt with. When you fail, it's okay to get depressed, it's okay to cry, it's okay to go home, it's okay to blame others for a while, but eventually you have to get over it and move on. The greatest people who've ever walked this planet, and I'm not talking about business people, I'm talking about people like Nelson Mandela and Abe Lincoln, constantly had setbacks in life and failures. Constantly. It happens all the time in business, and some of your success will be how you deal with the failure, not how you deal with the success. When I get introduced, I always get introduced that 1998 I was the president of Citigroup, and in 2000 I took over Bank One. I was fired in 1998. So I went a little bit of experience like this, and it's a painful thing. My boss, who had worked for 15 years, called me in and said, we want you to resign. To which I said, okay. I went home, I told my wife and children, I called my wife up and said, Judy, I'm going to tell you something, I'm not kidding, because I always make jokes about things like that. But I wanted to make sure the kids were fine. I went home, I have 3 wonderful daughters, they were much younger then. I said, the youngest one said, Dad, do we have to sleep on the streets? I said, no, hon, we're okay. The middle one, who just graduated Barnard, said, Dad, can I still go to college? I said, yes, dear, you can. And I knew things were fine when the oldest one, who's going to Harvard Business School, said, Dad, can I have that little cell phone you have? You won't be needing it. I remind people, when you fail at something, I told people about Citigroup as my net worth, not my self-worth. And I was able to move on, and yes, it was difficult. I did call my boss a year later. He did not call me. I called him and said, it's time to break bread. We went to lunch together. I told him that I didn't think he did the right thing for Citigroup, which is pretty obvious at this point. But I told him the mistakes I made. And whether it was 40, 60, or 60, 40 wasn't important. I wanted to learn from the experience and move on.
Management is I think is kind of a relentless process. So I guess first, like someone said to me, what changed in the crisis versus before? Nothing. It's like if you're not prepared for tough times, you can't like get prepared when times get tough. Like you need the army before the war starts. And so that means a disciplined group, they know what they're doing. The only real difference is that our risk committee used to meet once a week for a couple hours. And in the crisis, it met at 7 a.m., 12, lunchtime, 5 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 5 a.m. if it had to, 24/7 for 6 straight months. And we didn't say, it wasn't very formal. We said, hey, if you got a problem, go to the meeting and bring the people you got to have. And everyone shares the reports and shares the information, tries to react very quickly.
There's already a book on you. That book is already being written. And if I spoke to your teachers, your friends, your professionals, your parents, I would know whether you're trusted, how hard you work, whether you're ethical. I would know so much about you, you'd be shocked I don't even have to meet you. So that book is already growing. You write the book you want the way to be written. You actually have that choice, and you can do it as you want now. Don't let others write it. And when you get caught in situations that you're uncomfortable, I remember I worked at a company not far from here, and I remember I was asked to do something I didn't want to do. I'm not telling you all to take this advice. You can always quit. It's your responsibility whether you accept to do something or not, and it will be in that book written on you.